Today we're going to be looking at one of Andrew Tate's finest chess games, and this game really enthralled me due to the dazzling tactic at the end of the game. So today Tate is wielding the black pieces, and at the time of this game Andrew Tate was rated 1755, so almost at the peak of his powers. His opponent opens up with the move d4, the queen's pawn opening, not as good as e4, but you know. Andrew Tate plays the move d5, nice and standard. We see the move e3 and knight f6. Here Tate's opponent puts his bishop on the d3 square, and this is what is known as the stonewall attack. So Tate already in an interesting opening. One of the downsides of white playing the move e3 is that it locks in this dark squared bishop. If you notice, this dark squared bishop is only really restricted to the d2 square. So you know, but there's also other upsides for white, which we're going to be exploring. Here Tate plays the move e6, and here we see knight d2. Tate puts his bishop on the d6 square, so creating a nice home for it. And this is exactly what I do. I normally go for this exact setup. Very common, lots of players play it. And here the move f4. So this is pretty much the signature move of the stonewall attack. If you see, it's called the stonewall attack kind of because there's supposedly a wall here. And here Andrew Tate understands that king safety is the #1 principle in chess. If you lose your king, you simply lose the game. Game over. So Tate understands this principle extremely well, and he castles his king. Here white goes knight g to f3, and Tate strikes in the center, strikes against the stone wall, and plays the move c5. And here, if white were to do nothing, let's say a move like castles, then black always has the option of taking here, and if this pawn was taken back, then this pawn hangs. Remember, this pawn is defending that pawn and that pawn, so for that reason white plays the move c3, defending this pawn again. So in the occurrence of an exchange, white has himself covered. And here Tate plays the fairly committal decision, and he decides to play the move c4, which the reason why this is committal, because Tate has already released the tension. Normally in chess you want to keep the tension, but in certain situations you have to release it. The reason why this releases tension is because black at any time could have taken here, so he's released the tension of taking on d4, and he's played the move c4. We see bishop c2, this bishop slides back, and knight c6, so fairly standard. Tate's opponent plays the move castles, getting that king to safety. Here Tate plays, after this move castles, plays the move knight f to d7, which is not the best move. A lot better here would have been to play the move b5. Bang, b5. And the way you find out you have to play a move like b5 is you've got to pause. If you want to go fast, slow down. You've got to pause and understand that this pawn structure is aiming towards this way. In chess, you want to play in the direction of which your pawns are aiming. So after this move castles, knight f to d7, we didn't see b5, we saw knight f to d7. So Tate may be trying to break on this side of the board, but it's not going to work as well because these pawns are already facilitating him ability to play on the queen side. I'm not sure if that actually made sense. I'm going to have to check in a dictionary after this book if facilitating, what's the right word there? But you know, I'm working on my English. By the way, English is my first language. I'm just stupid. Here we see the move knight g5. This knight coming in, causing problems, and this knight here is attacking this pawn on h7. So Tate needs to do something about this and plays the move h6. So h6, also asking this knight a question. Where are you going? Here, the knight's answer to that question is the f3 square. Now b5, maybe a nice b4 break would do black's position nice if it's well timed. And here we see the move knight e5. So white not allowing any of this, because if you were to play b4 here, then white can just take here and you're in trouble. You have to do something about this knight as it's being under attack. So here Andrew Tate decides to release the tension, and he takes here. Normally to take is a mistake. By the way, I've said that in previous videos, and people go all nuts in the comments and go, oh, we said take the mistake, you will be special anomalies. You know, most of the time to take is a mistake. Not all of the time, but you know, the majority of times. So anyway, after this move takes, white here takes back. Bang, rook open now, and this is why to take was a mistake, because this rook becomes active. Here Tate plays the move bishop e7. His bishop is under attack. Tate's opponent, to be fair, credit him, he plays the best move. He plays the move e4, striking in the center. Tate's best move here, by the way, this was not played, but I'm just going to show you what he could have done, was to play the move knight b6. Nice and simple. Here Andrew Tate played the move queen b6, which is not as good, because here white can play the annoying move queen h5, and there's pressure. So let me go back a bit. After queen b6, the move queen h5 was not played. That would have been deadly. It was not played though. Instead, we saw the move ed5, which allows Tate to play a great move. Plays the move knight e5. Bang. You can't can't take here because you're in check. So here, Andrew Tate's opponent plays a move DE6, Bishop E6, and here King H1. The reason why King H1 was played is because now white is threatening to take this knight. So since Tate's knight is under attack, he plays the move Knight G5, supported by this bishop on E6, and here Knight F3, white getting his pieces into the game, and Tate plays a nice move here. He goes Bishop D6, so putting some pressure on this H2 square, we see Bishop B1. After this move, Queen C7, black is creating what is known as a battery. Here, after this move, Queen C7, we see Queen C2. This is another battery. This is more of a supercharged battery, because now white is threatening checkmate in one. So we got AA batteries here, and then we got AAA batteries here. Andrew Tate is under the threat of checkmate in one on H7, so plays the move F5. Here the move H3, Knight F6, retreating it. You know, the chess in this game so far has been great quality. Here Tate's opponent plays the move G4, which, by the way, you do not have to be a genius to work out why this move sucks. The reason why is because it just hangs a pawn. I think Tate's opponent was expecting if takes was played, which it wasn't in the game, by the way. This was not played in the game. I'm just showing you a variation that could have occurred. I think Tate's opponent thought he had a checkmate in one, but there's knight blocks and the king can escape. You can take this pawn, and Andrew Tate doesn't take this pawn. It was perfectly fine. But here he plays the move Knight E4, looking at this G3 square, and now Rook G1, so preventing Knight G3 check. Here the move Bishop D5 is played. I've got another word, by the way. Let's say white makes an impetuous decision and plays Knight H4. So if white were to make the impetuous decision of playing Knight H4, then Knight F2, bang, checkmate. So after Bishop D5, here we see GF5 anyway. Here it gets deadly. Knight G3, check. We see Rook G1, white sacrifices the exchange. Bishop G3, and now King G2, so white trying to get this king in. Here we see the move Bishop H2 by Tate after this move King G2. And here we see Queen F2, so Tate's opponent adding more defense. But now Rook A to E8. So we see King F1, and now Bishop G3 attacking this queen. Queen G2 is played, and you can try pause the video and find the absolutely deadly blow Tate played to make his opponent resign. You can try pause the video. The move is Rook E1. In the game, white resigned here. If this knight were taken, then the queen hangs. Really deadly stuff after Rook E1 check. Lovely stuff. Anyway, that is the end of the video. I've got another video right here I think you might enjoy. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.